places. Come and see familiar faces. Uncle Meat, Rob Daniels, Jon Snow. Gibby's here, it's the place to go. Grab a star of rock with Mike and the Man, Metal Man. Grab a star of rock and hold on tight as hard as you can. Keyboard's here, it's time for a party. And Chris has got the comment started. Grab a star of rock with Mike and the Man, Metal Man. Grab a star of rock and hold on tight as hard as you can. Grab a star of rock. Grab a star of rock.
Hey, fellas! Ace Frehley here tonight. Ack! How are you guys doing?
Beethoven's Fifth.
Hey, Curly!
Hey guys,
Hey!
I made it. So
I'm
far.
glad. I'm gonna get this thing off.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's probably hot.
There we go. Yeah, you've been dealing with some weather today, Tim.
Still dealing with it. It's very windy out. Lots of rain, very wet, and we're hoping the power doesn't go out.
Yeah, same here. I just look. That was a bad idea wearing the Ace Frehley. Anyway,
See, now I gotta keep. This is hot, but I gotta keep it on.
yeah, you don't have a choice.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad that you have electricity. Obviously, we still do here. And if the power goes out, c'est la vie. But we're all here. We're all safe. And Harrison, you don't even. You're in a scorching heat wave.
Yeah, it's hot here no matter what I do.
Australia, folks. And speaking of Australia, we like to do a thing at the start of every show called Ask Harrison. And tonight we have a question from series regular Jeff Taylor for Harrison. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Here we go. Whoa, sorry to interrupt your coffee break here, Jeff Taylor.
Oh, Harrison, good to see you. Fair dinkum. How many wheat bix do you have in the morning? And what does fair dinkum mean?
Over to you.
I can't really tell you what a fair dinkum means. I actually had to Google what is a dinkum, and it didn't really help. But currently, I have 2 wheat bix in the morning.
Oh, good.
When I was in high school, I used to have 4, but I can't manage that anymore.
What is a wheat bix? It sounds like something that we have here called shredded wheat, I'm thinking.
It's like this rectangular, about a centimeter tall, just over a centimeter, rectangular, about 7 or 8 centimeters thing. It's food, and it's like, I'm not really sure exactly how to describe it, but it's like layered bits of like thin flakes made out of presumably wheat, all like compacted into a little thing.
Oh,
Sounds like shredded wheat to me.
Similar, very similar. Yeah.
It's like if you made you put wheat in the shape of a throw pillow.
Yes. Tastes good with milk, though.
Didn't there used to be a cereal called Weetabix?
That could be similar.
I think that's just how people who can't pronounce nuclear pronounce it.
Oh.
It's nuclear, Lisa. Nuclear. Okay, Harrison, are you ready for question number 2 for tonight? A Christmas question. All right, here we go.
Hi, Harrison. Merry Christmas. I was just curious, are you looking forward to a specific Christmas present this year? And if so, is it an album or is it a new toy? Anyways, I just wanted to thank you for all the Lego that you have created for me and wish you a very Merry Christmas.
That is a good question.
Well, the thing that sets this Christmas apart from the others is that I have a job now. So I haven't really, I didn't really redeem any of the usually allocated Christmas budget beyond the small amount that I have to grab to open up in front of the family on Christmas Day.
Sure.
But there was something that I was very much looking forward to that I'd bought that arrived just yesterday, and you will see that next week.
Okay, so there is something specific, but we won't get the answer until next week.
Not yet. Yes, next week.
This guy's the most evasive, but we'll get you next time. We'll get
close to the chest.
Anyway, here's a question that I will answer.
Hi, Mike. Merry Christmas to you as well. I was just wondering, if you were to be a stripper, what would be your come out song? Like, what song would you come out to? I know what I would come out to, and I don't think you'll ever guess. Anyways, Merry Christmas.
I have thought about this extensively, and the answer is Big Balls by AC/DC. Absolutely 100% Big Balls by AC/DC. As for what song she would use, I would pick Shoes by Styx. That's what I would pick. Anyway, that's it for the asking part of tonight. We are going to be doing some unboxings, and well, Tim has pre-unboxed, but he's going to be showing off some mail. Harrison has something that came in the mail, and so do I. So I guess I'll just lay it down. Who wants to start? Anyone? Who wants to start?
Tim's got the most, so it makes sense to have him at the start,
Okay.
in the end, and then we punctuate him.
All right, let's do that.
Okay. Well, first thing, and it just came today, I got a little something in the mail from my friend Christine, who runs the Y&T fan page on Instagram, who actually took it over for me. So because they didn't have one, they still don't have one. So I started one, and then I just kind of asked if anybody wanted to take it over. I know that's major, like, first world problem. Ooh, guy can't handle 2 Instagram accounts. But anyway, but she's done a great job with it. And because Instagram is the way it is, you have to type a YANDT fan page, because if you put an ampersand, you can't hashtag something. It separates it into another thing once you put an ampersand in there. But she sent me this cool bandana with the logo all over it.
That's neat.
Yeah.
Are you going to rock that at the beach this summer?
Well, for that, I'd have to go to the beach.
Okay.
This is not, I do not possess a beach body. So,
okay.
Yeah. And she also sent me this. It's a temporary tattoo. And what this says is Meniketti, because Dave Meniketti from Y&T put out 2 solo albums in the 98 and 2002, both of which are really good. Of course, not many people know about them, but that was the logo he used. So his trusty battered Les Paul formed the basis of it, and just his last name on there. So yeah, Christine sent me those, which is very cool. And the second part of my first batch, I will show you. Speaking of Australia, this is just a cassette I got from a buddy of mine who's replacing his cassettes with CDs.
Ooh.
So I just didn't have this particular one. A band that, talk about a major announcement for Canadian rock with this band, with Miles Goodwin stepping down.
Oh yeah, I heard about that today. Yes, he's stepping down from. Now he said stepping down from touring is what he said.
That's right. Yeah. So you got another guy to fill in. Who knows? So this is an old London Records U.S. version of Live at the El Macombo, very rare. And another cassette that I'm not going to go into a lot of detail about, because there's an episode upcoming where I'm going to go into a lot of detail. This is Queensryche Operation Live Crime, a Canadian version. How did I end up with this? Well, I'll explain that in a later episode.
Okay.
I got that album. We play it close to the vest.
That's true. Yes, you both do. I got that album for Christmas 31 years ago, the VHS CD version.
Well, that's got something to do with it, but that's by itself.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
Shall I go next then? Because I think, Harrison, you don't have a lot to show tonight, right?
Not too much.
Okay, well then I'll go next because I've got so much stuff. This arrived in the mail yesterday. And as I said in my write-up, this is my Savatage vinyl order that I guess I placed in October. But they've been doing a really swell job of reissuing all their albums on vinyl. And I don't think they all have bonus tracks, but this one does. So let's rip her open and take a look at Poets and Madmen on vinyl. Ooh, it's thick. That's what she said. There we go. I'll do a close-up here before I crack the seal.
Mike, when did that originally come out?
If I recall correctly, it was 2001.
Okay.
It's kind of interesting what it says there. Savatage's last studio album featuring John Oliva back on vocals. It almost, if you read it wrong, it almost sounds like Savatage's last studio album with John Oliva, but it was really, it was their last studio album.
That's a confusing
Oh, that's how I read it, actually.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
a really confusing saga of him not singing on all of their albums, but yet being kind of there.
Yes, and just to do some self-promotion, on December the 27th, I'll be doing with 80s Metal Man on WordPress. We'll be ranking all of our Savatage albums. So that's coming on December 27th, and I will be addressing the weirdness of all the comings and goings of Mr. Oliva. Well, you can see what's inside here. Let's open it up. Incidentally, I do prefer, and Tim and I were talking about this offline a little bit, I do prefer the Zach Stevens era of the lead vocals in Savatage as a whole. I just prefer his voice to John's. But on this album, it has one of the most epic Savatage songs ever recorded called Morphine Child. And it's just abso-freaking-lutely incredible.
I like the short-lived Ray Gillen era.
I don't think he was ever a lead singer. He sang backup vocals.
No, he was lead singer on this, like, not a very early 80s show that there's, you know, bootleg footage of, but I don't think he ever recorded on an album.
Interesting.
Wow, the vinyl's like, what color is that?
Glow in the dark, Tim.
Oh.
So what I'm going to try to do, and I don't know if this will work or not, but I'm going to try to get this to glow in the dark on camera. We'll certainly give it a shot, right? We owe the audience that much. Neat inner sleeve, though. Look at I love the DAT artwork.
Oh, yeah.
That's cool. Then, you know, your typical studio notes, and produced by the late, great Paul O'Neill. And really, a lot of people don't necessarily realize this. Paul O'Neill was as much a part of the band as the Oliva brothers. You know, he did so much co-writing in that band. Like, he conceived Streets of Rock Opera, you know? So without Paul O'Neill, they really cannot be a Savatage again. Okay, we're going to turn off the lights in here and see if I can get it to glow. No, you can't really. Not really, eh? No.
It's like it's got to be completely dark. It looks cool, Mike. It looks cool.
I think the monitor's throwing too much light there. Oh, well, worth a try. I could see it glow a little bit, you know, when I was out in the hallway there. But I'm sure it will look cool when I'm, like, rocking to Savatage in the pitch black tonight after the power goes out. And it comes with a single. Oh, it's a 2-record set as well. I didn't realize that. But yes, it's a 2-record set plus a single. So we have a second glow-in-the-dark vinyl. Same artwork as the other. And the DATs as well. Or DATs. Gatefold. That's nice. I like that that picture right there. Gatefold. Here's the single. Oops. This is for Awaken, but it's an extended version. So there's your non-album content right there.
I was going to say, there's got to be some non-album stuff for Mike to buy vinyl.
Exactly. You got it, Tim. You know me. You know me. And let's just take a quick look at the booklet inside here, too. Probably the lyric sheet. And yeah. Oh, it's a nice. Tim, remember when you'd buy an album, like, say, the Empire Strikes Back soundtrack back in the 80s, and it had a nice big thick book with lots of pages?
Yeah. I was thinking the originals. Kiss the originals.
Yeah. Although mine is missing the booklet. But there they are. There's the Mountain King back on lead vocals, and only a 4-piece lineup because Al Pitrelli had left the band by the time this album was released. I believe he plays on it. If I remember correctly, he plays and writes on it, but he was out of the band by the time it was released. So they were technically a 4-piece. And I don't know if you guys have ever seen the CD version of this, but this picture of this woman is like a photograph, an individual piece of paper in the CD that like pops out of the CD cover when you open it. I remember that was kind of surprising to me when I bought it on CD. Oh, this is a really beautiful set, I have to say. I am very happy with this reissue. Well done, Savatage. Really well done. And for those of you who might not know exactly who I'm talking about, you might know Sabotage from a little side project called the Trans-Siberian Orchestra. Well, there you go. That's Poets and Madmen. Why don't we go over to Harrison and see what you got?
All right, so the first thing I have to show off today. So last week, I just walked into my local CD shop. I just cast my eye over the stuff, as you do, because occasionally there's something interesting pop up. And this time there was indeed. This is the 2021 deluxe reissue of Fleetwood Mac's Live.
I have that. That is awesome.
It's a really good set.
Yeah.
So on disc one, I mean, there's lots of great songs on here, but for disc one, the highlights for me are Monday Morning, which is rarely played, and Oh Well from the Peter Green era.
Nice.
With Buckingham singing that. Then on disc two, the highlights would be, for me, with just all the good songs there. But it's disc three where things get the best, because disc 1 and 2 are the original Fleetwood Mac live album recorded on the Tusk tour, and curiously it doesn't even feature Tusk, which is a great song. But disc 3 is what was added on this deluxe edition, and the highlights on disc 3 are, apart from just more Fleetwood Mac good songs that you'd expect, like The Chain and Goldust Woman, there is Tusk as well, but there is those. How many words? 8 words. Those 8 words just above my finger. Wait, where?
Yeah, I see those 8 words. A little song called The Green Man, or as Rob Halford would say, The Green Manalishi with the 2-pronged crown.
And that's from 1977. That's Lindsey Buckingham singing that, which is a real treat. I don't know if you can get to that sort of thing anywhere else.
That's cool, man. Well, I see that we have Mr. Marco Doria joining us now. So why don't we throw on Marco?
Hello.
Hey, how you doing, buddy?
Good to see everyone.
It's deja vu all over again.
Happy holidays. Yeah, Tim. Just saw Tim this morning. That was
That's
awesome.
what I've heard.
That was
You guys are conspiring. You're up to no good, I assume.
The results are up.
The results are up. You've already posted whatever you were filming.
Yeah, we shot what we do called showcase, where we talk to somebody and interview them about what got them into music and what got them into like doing their own YouTube channel and stuff like this, which I'd love to have you on sometime, Mike. But Tim and I did ours this morning, and that went up live. I put them up right away. I'm doing Rush Fans next week with Ryan Murphy and I think 1 or 2 other guys from Rush Fans. So I'm looking forward to that. But I'm trying to do like 1 a week. So for sure in the new year, we can do something together.
Absolutely,
Mike.
my friend. I'm down with that. So I have a question for you, which is, do you have in your hot hands yet the Mystique DVD?
I do.
You do?
Absolutely.
Oh.
I've got boxes of them now.
Nice. And you're happy with the way it looks and the way it sounds?
Yeah, I can show one.
Let's see it.
Let me see.
Mine hasn't arrived yet. I've ordered it, but just a little bit longer. I must wait.
Okay. Don't mind the mess in my background.
Hey, no
this
worries.
This is what it looks like.
Here we go.
Have you seen the other 3 of our background?
Yeah. You should see the off-camera portion.
It actually comes sealed.
Nice.
Mine's open.
Yes.
That's what it looks like. Inside.
There it is. The
Yeah.
story of Mystique standing on the firing line.
Very proud of it. Very cool.
Yeah, I understand that you should be. Oh, I'm very excited about this. I can't wait to get it.
They're available.
Now, I still need to get that. So for the benefit of myself and the audience, where can you purchase one of these?
They're on the Mystique shop. They're on the link is anywhere you follow Mystique, like on social media, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, anywhere you follow any official Mystique thing, you'll find the link for the online shop. And then there's other merchandise there too, like T-shirts that are left over from the premiere, and there's autograph stuff and posters, and you can get some of the music and the DVDs available there as well.
Yes, I ordered the Black Rider CD along with the DVD. So
yeah, that's amazing.
That's good stuff. That's good stuff.
Chris Sarr is being a smartass here. Chris Sarr, I did an entire episode on the DVD on the Mystique documentary.
It was the final LeBrain.
I thought you were a regular viewer, Chris Sarr. You're even in my theme song. You're in my theme song, and you didn't watch that episode? That was the LeBrain Train finale. Was the freaking Mystique interview, dude? How can you not have heard of it?
He's in the intro until now.
Yeah, he's in the. Yeah, guess what? I've been re-editing that video every single week. Chris Starr, you just edited yourself out. Well, Mark.
Well, I mean, like they are. It is a very niche thing, and they were an independent band. They were very like local to like Hamilton,
Yeah.
And that area. But they have some recognition with certain vinyl collectors like around the world, like in Greece and Europe. And I used to tape trade with folks. I sent tapes to like Norway and like California and Sweden and stuff like this. So they're, to a very small pocket of vinyl collectors who are interested in like progressive independent heavy metal. They have somewhat of a name, but yeah, they were a very independent band for sure.
He just clarified that he was talking about Savatage that he's never heard of. But I'm sure you've heard of Trans-Siberian Orchestra, especially this time of year. You can't get away from them this time of year, really. Dang, well, that's cool stuff, Marco. Thanks for joining us, by the way. What's the weather like in Toronto?
You know what? It was really windy and snowy earlier today. I haven't gone out at all. Like I just didn't have canceled all my plans to go out today. But right now, I think it looks kind of calm outside right now, surprisingly. Like I thought we'd be in the thick of it right now, but it seemed to be worse. I think around when I was filming with Tim around this morning and early afternoon.
Well, I know we were considering canceling all of our Christmas plans tomorrow, but now it's cross fingers, right?
Yeah, I think it was really bad in some areas.
It's still really windy and rainy here. And I'm just learning from some friends of mine, some coworkers that about a half an hour away, massive power outages out that way. And we're in a little tiny village here, so every second counts. So yeah, it's really windy. Hopefully it dies down soon. But we're very fortunate. The power flickered. Well, the power flickered while Marco and I were filming.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, I just went.
And I've heard that there's power outages in the Dundas area in southern Ontario as well. So, knock wood, we'll still be intact tomorrow, I hope. That turkey needs an oven.
This has become the meteorology show.
The meteorology show, the meteorology show. Anyway, I have plenty of box sets and stuff to unbox. Do you guys? I have 2 Marillion. I have a White Snake. I have a Rush. Do you guys have any? Do you guys want to see a specific box set?
Save Marillion for the end because everyone's leaving then anyway.
Oh, you jerk! You guys want to see? What do you guys have a preference?
Let's see Whitesnake.
Okay, actually, that's a good idea because I actually got that for last Christmas, so maybe I should get around to opening it.
This guy.
It's funny, like so I see somebody opening new vinyl, and I'm just like, "Why are you doing that?" But not everybody's weird like me. So.
We're all weird in our own ways.
Absolutely, yeah.
I didn't want to open my own DVD. I wanted to leave it sealed, but I mean, I've got a few boxes full of them, so I think I can spare one.
Well, that's like I've got a copy of my book that's still like I've got a hardcover copy that's sealed, and I don't want to open it. So, but then I got a soft cover to look through. So,
nice.
Okay, so slight hiccup. I can't find where I put that White Snake. It was Restless Heart.
You know what, Mike? I think you should look at the Rush one.
That's what I grabbed. So here's Permanent Waves, which I don't know. When did this come out? I don't even remember when I got it.
It came out in 2020. It came out like summer 2020. I have the 2 CDs set. And tell me something. You look at that front cover. Does that not look like modern day David Lee Roth?
100%, Tim. 100%. Let's do a close up here.
Yeah.
So what you're telling me, Tim, is that this has been sitting sealed in my music room for 2 years.
Yeah, something like that.
Wow. Yeah, that's David Lee Roth for sure.
Whoa. And I love that the fact that the newspaper article says blah blah blah,
which of course is a reference to Alex Lifeson's famous or infamous Rock and Roll Hall of Fame speech.
Yeah.
Which I thought brilliant.
He said we wanted to kill him, but
I love about watching that is looking at the guy's expressions behind him as he talks.
Yeah, they had no idea he was going to do that.
It's priceless.
Yeah.
Okay, so there seem to be 3 things inside this Rush box, and according to the back cover, we have the original album, a Permanent Waves World Tour 1980 CD, with 180 gram black vinyl album and bonus live content.
Mike, sorry to interrupt. Just speaking of Rush, remember that story you told me about what Joel said about Geddy Lee? Have you
We're
shared
saving
that
that.
live yet?
We're saving that.
Oh.
We're saving that story. That is too good of a story. Okay, so here's the book, Dewey Defeats Truman newspaper as the front cover there. Permanent Waves 40th anniversary. I think I'm caught up on my Rush box sets. I think. It's hard to tell when you don't open them for 2 years. There's the professor himself. I was listening to a lot of Rush this week, so this is really fun for me. I absolutely love Neil Peart's cymbal work. You know, even just as much as his drumming, I love his cymbal work.
I love that shot of the Hammersmith podium.
It's great.
Yeah.
That was was that used on the Live at the Hammersmith CD that came with different stages?
Yes, and if you Getty's up front scalping tickets.
Yeah, Alex is running away from the cops or something.
He's in a straight jacket or something, and I think Neil's up on top peering out.
You can see him. Yeah.
Yeah.
This thing here contains the vinyl. So we have Permanent Waves, World Tour. This is 2 records. No, this is 3 records. No, it's 2 records. Sorry. They're numbered side 3, side 4, side 5, side 6. So this would be sides 1 and 2.
That was my first Rush album.
This one? You serious?
Not in 1980.
It just happened to be the first one you bought?
In 1987. Well, no, I borrowed it from. I didn't borrow it. I had an uncle that had a bunch of old cassettes, and I asked if I could borrow them because I'd just gotten my first dual cassette player, and I wanted to make copies of them. And he said, if you see any tapes there you like, you can take them home. And that happened to be one of them.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh, that's neat. And Alex Lifeson Backstage Pass just popped out. And see what else is in here. Oh, here's all the regular stuff. Here's a Neil Peart Backstage Pass.
That was that interim period where Neil still had long hair, but he didn't have his mustache.
Right, which I thought was a great look, by the way. And there's my buddy Peter used to say, I loved when Geddy Lee had those gigantic glasses. And there they are. That is the best photo.
I've heard Geddy talk about that. He said something to the effect of, you look at the pictures and you say, my God, those glasses, they are eating my face.
That's one way to put it. They are huge. This is neat and something I'll never use. La Studio Notepad.
Yeah.
I never use that. It's kind of, it's like for the inflated prices of these box sets, it kind of ticks you off to get stuff like that you'll never use. Printed lyrics.
Cool. What I found about, like I said, I just got the 2 CD version of that, and they kind of, no pun intended, released that one because it doesn't have any liner notes inside of it, at least inside the CD version.
Gotcha.
And there is dedication to Neil, who had died like a few months previous.
That's right. Yeah.
But if you get, like, if you see the Permanent Waves one, there's a huge article on there, and there's testimonials and things like that. Now, just like Moving Pictures, we have reached the end of 2022, and no sign of a Signal's 40th anniversary. And being off by 1 year is making my OCD crazy. So, thank goodness they didn't put an album out in 1983. So they've got a year to catch up for the 40th and brings under pressure.
Lots of these nice lyric sheets, by the way.
While you're doing that, Mike, can I put a shameless plug out?
Of course.
Somebody follows Rush fans. They've already seen this one, but it's going to be on my channel. Last weekend of the year. It's going to be on the 31st. If you're a fan of Hugh Symes' artwork, not just with Rush, you're definitely going to want to watch this show that I did with Ryan and Todd and Ralph from Rush fans. Todd Evans, a lot of people know Todd
as well.
I know Todd.
And that very album right there, Harrison, that makes an appearance.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that was. There's an interview disc that came with the Man on the Edge single, and Blaze Bailey addresses Hugh Syme. Oh, that's a great picture again.
Wow,
addresses
cool.
Hugh Syme taking over the artwork. And I guess when Steve or whoever it was that made the initial phone call to Hugh Syme, I guess when that phone call was made, Hugh responded, "I've been waiting for this phone call for 7 years." So that's kind of a cool story. Now, the only thing I haven't located here are the CDs that are supposedly coming with this set.
I'm sure
Maybe they're in
somewhere.
with the vinyl. That could be. Let's see.
Just had this funny thought of them coming up with, not Rush per se, but someone coming up with this smart/stupid idea of having the CDs where you've got to pop them out of the record.
I was just thinking of that too. Like, maybe they stuck it in the record.
There
What is
is
that?
a Third Man Records release where there is like a 5-inch single encased within a 7-inch single, and the only way to get the one single out is to bust the other single. That's Third Man Records for you, though.
That's
Like they just like to do goofy stuff.
Yeah.
Not that I'm saying bad. It's it's kind of goofy. Anyway, there's my Permanent Waves box set. No DVD with that one, I guess. A lot of the prior Rush box sets came with a DVD with a 5.1 mix of the album, but nothing there. And we have Mr. Chris Preston with us tonight,
Hey, Chris.
all the way from the studio.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas, Chris. Yeah. So tune in to see Tim's show when he does Hugh Syme. Well, that was fun. What about you, Harrison? You want to go next?
All right, my second thing that I'm showing off today. A little while back, probably a bit over a month now, LeBrain sent some news my way, and I very much took advantage of that with some Blaze Bailey. I love this cover. This is
that.
Oh, that's
live
cool.
in France from 2018. This was basically on the tour for the third chapter of the Infinite Entanglement trilogy. So it's basically a greatest hits of those last 3 albums, which are a concept album trilogy with some Maiden classics thrown in. And I got the DVD CD combo. So
I love that. It almost looks like a combination between the Silver Surfer and the Angel of Retribution.
Yeah, the pose.
Yeah, the pose. And I see that it's signed.
Yep, you do get that option with the CDs on Blaze's website.
So that was a combo deal where you got the CD, the DVD, and an autograph.
Yeah, it's the way he does his shop is you've got like option 1, CD only, option 2, DVD only, option 3, CD and DVD. And then when you're, adding it to cart, you can choose the option of signed for like £1 or £2 extra. And then
That's cool, man.
Inside. This one uses the type of case. I'm ashamed to admit that it took me far too long to work out how to open these type of 2 CDs.
Oh, yeah.
Fragile.
I was
I hate
basically
those.
like, I'm going to have to just pry this open because I can't get in there. So I stuck a screwdriver in here and it popped open too easily. And I'm like, hang on. And then I realized,
I hate
What an
those.
awful feeling
Yeah,
that is.
those are
You're
prone to
sitting there going,
breaking.
I am smarter than a CD case.
No, yeah. I thought, at one point I read the liner notes to collect my wits. It didn't take very long because there weren't many to collect.
That's funny, though. I do hate those cases, though, because they almost always arrive broken. Almost always. That's cool, Harrison. So is your Blaze Bailey collection, is it up to date? Is it complete at this point?
No, it's far from complete because the first album I got was Alive in Poland, which is pretty much, a greatest hits in itself. Then I got his latest album, which is his best album. And now I just recently got these. I'm in the process of getting it there, but
Okay.
I'm not as in a rush to complete it because I have most of the best stuff already.
You're not as in a what?
Oh, I was like, come on, Mike.
What?
that bad,
yeah.
That bad, eh, Tim?
Yeah, that reminds me.
Well, no,
Every
it's-
time Mike and I are talking, and somebody says no rush or anything, I'm like, good. I don't like them.
What did you call Geddy Lee? The bass player from Rush or something like that? You
Who?
made some the
Rush singer. He
The
has a-
Rush singer, yeah. He's a patron saint here in Canada, my friend. Anyway, thanks, Harrison. That's beautiful. I really love the artwork on that thing.
I
And
do.
so that's comes from the official Blaze shop.
Yeah, it reminds me of the Eldorado and Satellite 15 singles that Maiden did from the Final Frontier.
Good point. Those were comic book art.
Yeah, I like
Singles.
those ones too.
Yes. Yeah, good call. All right, Tim, that would make you up next.
So I've got some CDs to talk about, and it's kind of a segue because we talked about the Silver Surfer.
Mhm.
And these are just some CDs I got to fill in some holes. I'm never shocked when people don't own any Rush. By now, I'm kind of beaten down by it.
But this is a guy who owns, 800 copies of Def Leppard's Adrenalize.
Oh, he's done it again.
Yeah.
You weren't here. I mean, you were probably watching last week. He has a propensity to do this. And now we're going to have to rearrange everyone as well when he gets back. But no, I'm
glad it's not just me.
Yeah, I really like how I just had to say that there was a Fleetwood Mac song that was 8 words, and he knew exactly which one I was talking about before I'd even said it.
I saw that at Sunrise Records, and I didn't know that they were reissuing it. And to be honest with you, I don't have like all the Fleetwood Mac because there's so many of them. I only had that on 8-track, so I'd never listened to it. And I saw that the remastered version. I'll get that. And then I looked at that 3rd disc. I'm like, oh, this is great. And I love the fact that at least in the earliest days that they dipped back into the Peter Green catalog and did Oh Well, and then the Green Manalishi and stuff like that.
Those are great to hear with Buckingham as well.
Yeah.
Even if it's not the most definitive version, it's just a historical rendition.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it happens so rarely. I have the dance as well, so I've got pretty much the best Fleetwood Mac live out there.
So kind of a segue, because we talked about the Silver Surfer. I got this Joe Satriani, Not of This Earth.
Nice.
His first album, and this is not the first cover art. Like Satch fans will know that there's an original cover that was done for this. This is a UK version on CBS. I also got this one just to fill in the collection.
Yes,
I have that exact CD.
Good job.
I have the deluxe.
Yeah, this is the late 90s remaster. I got to be honest, they stretch these songs out way, way, way too far. Like 1536 of Catch the Rainbow.
That was Martin's complaint.
Of Mistreated.
Yeah.
I think it's cool.
Martin gave that album like a 2 out of 10, I think, in Riff Kills Man.
Yes. And I think it was either this album or I think either this one or The Song Remains the Same. He said something about manages to stretch a few songs over 4 records and risk getting arrested for loitering in the process. They're just too long.
Yes.
Now,
And the
funny thing I like about this is they do Kill the King on here.
Yeah.
Which predates the studio version on Long Live Rock and Roll.
True. Yes. So, that is true.
And it's cool to hear Ronnie sing Mistreated.
Yes.
It's cool. It's just but Deep Purple stretch the songs out too much too. Just play the song. Also, Man on the Silver Mountain. And 100 miles an hour on here.
Kill the King's not really stretched out, right?
That's I think my favorite Dio rendition of Man on the Silver Mountain. But the funny thing about the versions on that disc being stretched out is that that's the light, the bite-sized, the diet version of the Munich 77 show, where they're even longer.
Yeah, that's true. Sorry, Marco, what were you saying?
I was saying they don't really stretch out Kill the King on that though, right?
No.
Is that the same show that you can get the DVD of?
No, that's Munich.
It's probably the same tour.
No,
you say the same tour, Harrison, or is it?
I don't think so. I think that's 76 and Munich is 77. There was an album released and then wasn't there? See, Stargazer got dropped from the set in order to put Long Live Rock and Roll in on Munich.
Oh, okay.
That's a DVD I got to track down.
Yeah.
But anyway,
that's a beaut.
Yeah. And the only other DVD I have is a band that I just love, Kansas.
Yes, you do.
Another Fork in the Road, 50 Years of Kansas. It's a 3-disc collection. Put on an Inside Out Music, all tracks. It goes in reverse chronological order. I love the fact that it's got songs from the last 4 albums they've done, which are all independent albums, very, very strong albums, and then it ends up with the Sony material. Now, the UK version has the second disc is different because it's got tracks from the 2 MCA albums, which is interesting why they didn't
Right. You
Do
mentioned
up
that
here.
last time.
But one of the things I don't like, I got this off Amazon, and I don't like it when they have the booklet come in one of these
Oh, yes.
folders, because these always break.
They rip. Yeah.
Yeah. And here's another thing that kind of annoys me about it, but I hate the idea of trying to send something back. And I don't know if they're all like this, but this is one of those CDs where the beginnings of each of the songs are cut off slightly, which makes me wonder if they're at the end of the next track.
Right.
And that kind of bugs me, because it's like, stuff's not cheap, but I don't know.
That could just be a sequencing error where they're just dropping the track breaks in the wrong locations, but who knows, right?
It's really annoying, especially the first track is the unreleased. It's a song called Can I Tell You, which was the very first song on the very first album, but it's the band as it is now re-recording it.
Right.
And like the first half measure of it is missing, and I hate it. But anyway, I love the cover. This is like going into a record store where it's all Kansas.
See that up close here?
Yeah.
There we go. Oh,
okay,
nice. Yeah.
Show the cover again there. And they're referencing the fact that there's the two ladies there. That references their live album too for the show.
Okay.
Because there's like these two cleaning ladies in the theater or whatever. Yeah. Anybody knows I'm just a big fan of this band, and there's a lot more to them than just the two songs everybody knows. So that's all I got to say about that.
Thanks, Tim. That's cool. Marco, you are up if you have anything else you want to show off tonight.
Yeah. Actually, if anybody watches The Contrarians, we have a panelist member named Nick Esquire.
Okay.
And he actually came across, he knows I'm a big fan of Elvis. He came across a bunch of Elvis stuff. I can't remember exactly if it was like his dad's or relatives' old albums or something like this, but he sent me like a box of Elvis stuff, like books, and there's a calendar in there and old magazines and records and stuff. So I can show off a couple.
Awesome.
This one here. This actually is like an iconic cover.
Yes, there it is.
Yeah.
And this is what some people have suspected. If anybody's ever seen Pulp Fiction with the suitcase, and it's like glowing. Some people have suggested it's Elvis's suit.
Are you kidding?
From this album cover in the suitcase. But
I
don't think
that's cool.
I've heard that, but I don't think that that's what it actually is. I think Quentin Tarantino will say that it's not supposed to be anything. It's just in your mind. But yeah, there's Elvis's Gold Records Volume 2, and it's got a image of him on the back.
Cool. That is cool. Incidentally, back in the 90s, the mythology used to be that it was Marcellus Wallace's soul that was in the suitcase. That was the working theory in the 90s.
Here's another record out of the box that Nick sent me. This is from the soundtrack of King Creole, which has Walter Matthau in it.
No kidding, there he is.
This is one of his early movies, and this is I've only seen. I have a collection of Elvis VHS. I probably have like 15 movies. Some of them are concert performances, like the '68 comeback special and stuff like this.
Yeah.
But this is one of the few feature-length films I've actually seen with Elvis in it. I've seen a Western too that was pretty good, but the movie's all right. But this is the soundtrack to that film. He's like a kid who gets a job as a busboy in a club, and then he ends up singing, and then people discover his voice. But it's a good movie. This is one, if you're gonna check one out with an old Elvis movie, then you can check this out. And this one's cool because it's got a really cool cover. It's like
neat.
a painted cover. And I'm not very familiar with many of the songs on this at all, actually. King of the Whole Wide World, Mary's the Name, The Latest Flame.
No, that one
I know.
Stuck on You, I know. Follow That Dream, I don't know. Witchcraft, I'm Coming Home, Make Me Know It. I don't know any of those. Return to Sender, I know.
Return to Sender.
Yeah. Witchcraft, I think, is a Sinatra song, or it's a song that Sinatra made famous, because I think I remember seeing a clip of the two of them singing that song on a I don't know if it was Ed Sullivan or one of those shows.
Now, Tim, what metal band covered his latest Flame?
You got me there.
You don't know? It's a band out of Germany called the Scorpions. they covered it on the Face the Heat album, but they intended to cover it for the. Remember when they did that a charity album in '89, The Stairway to Heaven, Highway to Hell, where they did the cover tunes? Yeah, they were originally considering it for that, but they did Can't Explain by The Who instead.
Do you know why we love to play California?
It's because you people really know how to party!
I just saw the Scorpions.
Did you?
In the summer, and I filmed it because I'm in bootleg trading circles.
Ooh.
So I actually shot it and traded it. And then
Anything you say can and will be used against you in court.
Well, I mean, I don't make any money. I don't sell it. I trade it with other traders.
Yeah, there you go. It's
but the last Elvis vinyl I'm going to show is volume 1 of this. This is volume 2 of the gold albums. This is volume 1.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know what the rumor is? There's considering Elvis Gold Records Volume 1, there is a rumor considering a very famous rock band from the 70s. Mike, do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
There's a rumor that Led Zeppelin covered the entirety of Elvis Gold Records Volume 1 during a sound check, and it's never been released.
Wow. I'd love to hear that.
After this many years.
This has all the classic tracks on it. Hound Dog, All Shook Up, Heartbreak Hotel, Jailhouse Rock. Like, this is, you know what I mean?
That's really cool that Nick sent all that to you. That's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. That's cool that he was thinking of me. There's other stuff in here too, which I can show in my next go around. Like
I think the only one of Elvis's movies I ever saw was Blue Hawaii because my parents both liked the movie and the soundtrack.
Do you have Lilo and Stitch as an Elvis movie?
Exactly.
I've never seen Lilo and Stitch, but I've probably seen maybe like 4 or 5 Elvis movies.
Wow.
I have a DVD set of them.
To be all that great, are they? Some of them.
It's surprisingly he's made about 40 or 50 films, and I think there's only really a handful that are considered critically like acclaimed. I guess the one Western I saw, which I can't remember the name of it, was actually really good. He had a
Flaming Star.
I don't know, but he had a beard and he was like in an outlaw gang and they kicked him out and then he ended up they branded him too, which was frightening.
Holy smokes.
And then they were trying to steal this gold cannon and then he ended up going against them, and that was a good one because I like old Westerns and stuff.
Wow.
Yeah.
Never see a Roy Orbison movie called The Fastest Guitar in the West.
I don't plan on it.
Okay, good. Well, I may as well go next, and I think just because it's nearby, we'll grab these Marillion box sets, and I have the first 4 with Fish. There they are, right there. Script, Fugazi, Misplaced, and Clutching.
They look cool,
but I haven't opened the middle 2 yet. It's funny because EMI did a really great set of Marillion reissues in the mid 90s, late 90s actually. These 2 CD deluxe editions with tons of bonus tracks, B-sides, live demos, unreleased. And now we get these awesome 4-disc compilations here that all but replace the originals. So we may as well start with Fugazi because it comes chronologically first. There is the sticker, 3 CD and Blu-ray set. And you know, the unfortunate thing is I hardly ever get around to watching the Blu-rays. But this one has Live in Montreal 84, which is also on CD. It has bonus tracks on the Blu-ray. Wow. Looks like on the Blu-ray you get all the bonus tracks that were on the 2 CD version that are not on this, on the CD portion of this, but they're on the Blu-ray, if you catch my meaning. Music videos. It has a live concert for Swiss TV that was filmed in 84. Wow. Huh. All right, let's open it up.
While you're doing that, just speaking of songs on Blu-rays, something that really pissed me off, the Dire Straits Alchemy Live Blu-ray advertises that you also get a digital copy of the songs, MP3s. But to do that, you have to insert the Blu-ray disc into an external Blu-ray player that connects to your computer in order to download it, which is like, who has that?
I was actually thinking of buying something like that, but there they are right there with the big man, Derek W. Dick, a.k.a. Fish, right in the middle. These guys did not get along very well. One of the most acrimonious splits, really, in rock. You had this big, imposing, intimidating lead singer who definitely had his own ideas, and then you had this band kind of pulling in another direction. But this was the second album when things were relatively harmonious. Amazing artwork by Mark Wilkinson, who later on went on to do some Judas Priest and some Iron Maiden. Yeah, he did everything since, not everything, but he's done a lot since Brave New World onwards, I believe.
He's their second most prolific, I think.
After Derek Riggs. And we have Misplaced, which of course is the big Marillion album. Number 3, the concept album. Don't ask me what the concept's about. This one is 4 CDs and a Blu-ray. The Blu-ray has the Steven Wilson remixes of the studio album, which appears to annoyingly not be on CD. CD is the 2017 remaster. Then we have a 1985 concert live in Utrecht on 2 discs. Disc 4 is singles, B-sides, and versions. And also Misplaced Childhood Demos, which was on the 2 CD set. It's basically the entire album in demo form, and some of the songs are shuffled in order, but it's otherwise pretty much intact. And then the Blu-ray
is there any album that's come out reissued that Steven Wilson didn't do?
No, that's a fact.
Doesn't he do everything?
He does everything.
Yeah. It
does kind of tick me off that the Steven Wilson remixes are only on the Blu-ray. I'm only ever going to be able to listen to that on Blu-ray. Is it only?
Seems like an oversight.
Yeah, but you know what? I'm looking at this, Tim, and it seems to be exclusively a 5.1 remix. If I'm reading the back correctly, this is exclusively a 5.1 remix. So, anyway, there's the discs. This is a fantastic album if you guys haven't heard it, by the way. Wasn't I trying to get you into Marillion recently, Tim?
You sent me a couple of songs. I didn't hate it. I mean, and obviously, I mean, that album right there, I mean, most people have heard Kaylee.
I would think so at this point, yeah. I know in the liner notes to the original remaster, Fish says, you know, there's a lot of there were a lot of children named Kaylee born in 1986. They were a great band. They still are a great band, but they are not the same band. I don't think that's even controversial to say that. But there you go. There's the first 4 Marillion remasters. Script, Fugazi, Misplaced. Fantastic artwork there. And Clutching, which I am actually quite fond of this artwork, even though nobody in the band is.
For what it's worth, I have read the book that they named themselves after.
The Silmarillion.
Yeah, which is not an easy read.
No, I understand. I haven't read it, but I know what you're talking about.
It's a little easier to read than Unfinished Tales.
You know, I have not ventured into any of the stuff that that was published after Tolkien passed. It's very intimidating. Very intimidating.
I love the world that he created, so I wanted to read a little bit more. And you do come across things where you go, that's what. But the trouble is, it takes such a long time for you to get to any characters you've even remotely heard of. So it's like, why do I care about these characters? Who are they? It's really interesting. There's one thing, and we're getting off track here, but I'm geeking out totally here. But if there's one thing that I've learned about Tolkien's work that I wonder wasn't an influence on Gene Roddenberry, and it's that in the ancient times of Middle Earth, the elves fought constantly, and there were factions warring against each other. Yes. And I wonder if that's where Gene Roddenberry got the idea for Vulcans.
I knew you were going there. Because
the early history of Vulcans is they were a warlike people and fought each other and almost wiped each other out until they got all logical and stoic, and
until Surak came and taught them logic and how to shed their emotions.
They're kind of elfish too, with the ears and stuff.
Yeah.
Now
except like when they would get that 7-year Jones.
Right. Yes. Ponfar.
Yeah, Ponfar.
Yes. One of my absolute favorite Star Trek episodes of all time.
They have to go get the Ponfar on. Oh my goodness! When I saw the Cable Guy, when they reenacted that fight scene, that's like the highlight of that movie because I didn't care for that movie too much. But I know exactly what they're doing.
You know, Ben Stiller and Jim Carrey, they're both huge Trek fans. and that's no doubt how that came about. But they did the famous Trek battle theme, the dun 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 dun, and they had the exact same weapons that Kirk and Spock used. It's a long story, and I don't want to go on, but God, what was the name of that episode? It's
parodied quite a bit.
Amok Time. Yeah. Okay, so we're getting close to the end here. Marco, you had a little bit more to show, and I guess Tim, you might as well.
Do you want me to go first?
Yeah, you may as well go ahead, Marco.
All right. I just got a few more things to show here, so let me just shut off my background again. Out of the Elvis box that I got, and I have a bunch of Elvis CDs, and I have an Elvis single, My Way, somewhere.
Is that a Sinatra cover?
I think so. I mean, most Elvis's songs are covers.
Right.
That actually, I wonder about that. Does that classify as CanCon? Because didn't Paul Anka write or co-write that?
That's a good question, Tim, and it very well might. But the writing is only 1/4 of the CanCon qualification, as you know.
No, if he wrote it all himself, music and lyrics, that's half.
Oh, I see. Yes, you're right. Yeah, right.
That's
yes.
the M and the L. But if he co-wrote it with non-Canadians, then it's not enough.
Then it's only 1/4. Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Good question.
Yeah.
Sorry, Marco, go ahead.
I got that somewhere. I can't even grab it right now. I have a single, My Way, and I can't remember what's on the other side, but it's live. It's I think it's from the CBS special before he passed away, 76. But here's some magazines. Check out this Photo Play.
Oh my God.
That's the famous picture. If anybody's seen the movie recently, this was like they recreated this picture basically.
The birth of Lisa Marie.
Has anybody seen the Elvis film? I saw it. I thought it was really good.
Is that ever cool?
Yeah, it's even still got like this in there.
That is cool.
Form. I bet that's got some cool ads in it.
I love stuff like that.
Yeah. You know, a magazine I'd love to get my hands on in perfect shape is that People magazine from 1980 that Kiss are on the cover of.
Yeah.
I've read it. I saw it a long time ago. I flipped through it, but yeah, I'd like that.
I used to have a stack like this of Kiss magazines that my aunt collected because my aunt got me into Kiss. She was a huge Kiss fan. I ended up trading them away. I don't have any left, but I had a stack like this from the 70s and 80s, like 16 magazine and like Teen Beat, and then like stuff later like Hit Parader and stuff like that. I had a whole stack of them, and I regret trading them away, but it is what it is. There's this. Here's another magazine.
That's neat. Crawdaddy.
I've heard of that. It's a music magazine, right?
Honestly, I have no idea. I just got this a couple days ago, so I haven't even really gone through any of this stuff. This is the first time I've kind of I looked through it. There's the editorial. That's Elvis, right?
Yeah.
I love the little cutouts on the opposite page of Elvis there.
Page 28 is the Elvis article. Oh, who's that? Steely Dan?
Steely Dan's Golden. Oh my God.
Golden Age. So that must be from 76 or 77.
What else we got in here? There's this cool stereo. I don't know what that is.
600 PV.
6 channels.
Like an amp?
Yeah, I don't know. Like an amp head. It's PV anyway, whatever it is.
And it's 6 channels.
Yeah. Oh, here's Elvis.
There we go. There he is.
Down at the end of Lonely Street. I don't get it.
Man, that's cool. That is cool.
There's like this paperback book.
That's
Elvis,
really cool.
Completely up to date, it says on the front cover.
Completely up to date.
On the top corner.
1935 to 1977. So this was after he passed away. 1977 copyright. Wow. There's some pictures in here. It's him with a horse there.
That's how you know you're a man.
He was a man, all right. Lots of cool stuff.
Memorabilia.
Photos from his movies, Roustabout. His wedding photos, lots of cool stuff in here. Yeah. And then I have a hardcover book.
Ooh, I've seen this one in stores.
Yeah, I think I have too.
I have a biography of him somewhere too. I never got around to reading it, but it's got all kinds of pictures in it.
Dang, oh, that's so nice. Even dogs love Elvis.
Yeah. He's cutting his hair.
For the
It's
Army, I guess.
iconic,
Yeah.
yeah. The iconic photo there. Oh, there's in the Army.
Yeah.
The only time he went overseas, apparently. The only time he traveled to like England and Germany and stuff like that.
Yeah, his manager didn't have him. I think he might have played Canada like twice or something.
He did actually, and then in the 1950s, and I think some footage in the last few years actually surfaced of him playing in like I can't remember where. It's a couple of minutes footage. You can find it on YouTube. It might have been Toronto. He played at Maple Leaf Gardens, believe it or not.
That sounds right. Right. Yeah. That's cool. Thank you, Marco.
Yeah.
I love your
thanks.
Elvis addiction. That is so cool. You've got some really nice records there.
Thank you. Thanks, Nick Esquire.
All right, Tim. Well, you might as well close the show then with whatever you got left.
Well, I guess
Might I just quickly address a couple more things here? Just two things.
Sure.
The second is another one of my favorite tracks on here. I forgot to mention was the Tusker Deep Cut. What Makes You Think You're the One on the disc 3. And I realized I forgot to show you the interior.
Okay, let's do a close up here
of the Buckingham and Nick's.
Look how cool they were back then.
I think that's Fleetwood.
And there's
McVie again. And there's the other McVie looking very.
He looks worse for wear.
Very much.
Completely sober, I'm sure.
And then you've got.
That is a really nice release, Harrison.
And the Fleetwood Mac Penguin.
The Penguin, yeah, that's like their mascot.
Yeah.
Like that album is so long, it's even on 2 8-tracks.
Wow.
Yeah, there's a lot of, and that's not even including that third disc.
Right.
So.
Yeah. Anyway, that's enough times that I go back to that. I think I've done everything.
That's really cool, and of course ties into when we were talking about Christine a couple of weeks ago. So thanks for that. All right, Tim.
So I got a little bit of vinyl to talk about. An album I love. First time it's been on vinyl is April Wine Attitude.
That is shiny, dude.
Yeah, it came out in 1993, and now it's finally available on vinyl. Reissued by Aquarius, which didn't have it in the first place, but really hard rocking album for these guys. Did well for them, went gold in Canada. The song That's Love got a little bit of play in the States, which is pretty impressive, considering it was an import and hit the top 40 on the mainstream rock charts. I'm hoping they do the companion album to this called Frigate, which is the one that came out the year later. And, finally have all the April Wine vinyl. And, if anybody's been following, and if they don't, they should, Grant's Rock Warehouse. We've been doing a series on April Wine. So the very next one we're doing is going to be in this era.
Nice.
And the only other thing I've got some 45s to talk about.
Okay.
That I recently got. Billy Squier, Rock Me Tonight, yes, that video.
Nice artwork, though.
Did a great episode on the Contrarians talking about Billy Squier. Doesn't get enough recognition. So this is just the single, U.S. single here. Band I've already talked about. I like the single cover to this, though. This is Kansas, Everybody's My Friend. I love the irony of the title mixed with the visual here, the boxing protective mask. And
nice.
This one doesn't have a sleeve. It's just Skid Row 18 in Life.
Man,
with
that's
a barcode.
Cool. What's the B-side?
Midnight Tornado.
So not a non-album track.
No, I don't think they had a lot.
They did once you hit Slave to the Grind era for sure.
And another episode that we did a Contrarians show on, an album, HSAS, Hagar, Schoen, Aronson, and Shreve. This is the single to their cover of Whiter Shade of Pale. And there's the back.
Hot and dirty.
So, yeah, that's all I got.
Well, thank you, Tim. I guess we're going to be seeing a Tim's Vinyl Confessions spotlight then on the Contrarians is what you're saying. And I'm looking forward to that. And Tim, you've got, I don't know what you've got lined up. You're being very holding your cards to your chest, but
in a matter of hours, we have an episode where my wife and I talk about our favorite Christmas music. It's a little bit different for us, but we thought maybe if somebody was, wrapping presents or having their Christmas Eve coffee, Christmas Eve morning coffee. Chris, you want some Christmas music? Well, there's no Christmas music on the episode. We're just talking about it, but that's going to premiere in a matter of hours. The week after that, like I said, very special Hugh Syme episode.
Yeah.
We're not talking to him or anything like that, but just it's one of my favorite ideas that I've come up with, and unfortunately, I some people were good enough to go along with it. And let's see. Well, this is a preview to an episode.
Yes.
So yeah, it's not all completely against the vest. Also, believe it or not, I'm heading up on my 400th episode.
Wow.
And Matt and I have talked about some ideas. I just don't want to talk about those ideas yet because we're not really sure.
And Can I ask you a question, Tim?
Yes.
Do you talk about Merry Xmas Everyone by Slade on your Christmas show?
For sure.
That was a number 1 hit in the UK.
Yeah, no, for sure. That
funded Nobby's retirement, basically.
Yeah. That definitely gets talked about.
Mm-hmm.
That and a cover version of it.
Will there be any Christopher Lee?
Christopher Lee?
Yes, he did a Christmas album.
Well,
at least
EP.
One.
He did a couple of Christmas EPs or more like.
Oh, okay.
No,
weren't full song.
No, but that's interesting.
Well, did you know he did metal albums towards the end of his life?
I did know that. Yeah, wasn't a band called Rhapsody?
I think so. Yeah.
He did a couple of Charlemagne albums, and he did some heavy metal Christmas covers.
He did.
Wow. He was an interesting dude.
Yeah, one of my favorite actors of all time.
Pretty much the definition of a Renaissance man, along with Bruce Dickinson, I'd say.
Where there's a scene, or there's a commentary where he corrected Peter Jackson on what it actually sounds like when you stab someone.
Because Jackson wanted him Saruman to scream and stuff, and
he's like,
Christopher Lee's no, they go like, because all the air gets sucked out of them.
Yeah, and then he looks like, how do you know?
Jackson was like, I was just not going to press the issue any further.
Yeah, that's where he moved on.
All right, so in summation, go to Contrarians on YouTube, go to Tim's Vinyl Confessions on YouTube, and go to the Mystique Band, all the socials, to get your copy of Standing on the Firing Line, the Mystique documentary, which we've talked about, and I can't wait to finally see it, get my copy in 2023. So order it, check out YouTube. This guy will be back with me next week.
Who?
Yeah. All right, I will be back next week. It'll be a drop-in show, and all are welcome. So that's it for tonight. Merry Christmas, everyone. Thank you for watching, and we're going to go out on a song, and I think...
When's T-Bone doing his Christmas song?
Sorry?
When's T-Bone doing his Christmas song?
That's a good question. I don't have any Christmas material, so we're just going to play... I don't know. Call of the Wild by Max the Axe. That's what we're going to play. Thanks a lot, guys, and we'll see you next week, maybe, or maybe not. It's up to you.
I thought tonight was the drop-in show. I hope it didn't crash your show.
Dude, it's all good, man. Had a great time. But next week, too. Anyway, we'll see you guys. Merry Christmas, one and all. Take care and stay safe out there.
Yeah.
Ciao.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Just to see you smile.